Hello, all. Let me get myself situated here for a second. Autistic transitions be so real. How do I feel about that? Okay, about that. I wish that the lighting was better. At any rate, happy Beltane. It's May 1st as I do this live. Happy Beltane for everybody that's watching live. Happy May Day. Happy International Workers' Day. That part. Yeah. Happy spring. How is your spring treating you these days? My spring is going well. I'm grateful to have survived the Mercury retrograde. I am grateful for the opportunity and space to talk about astrology, which is one of my autistic special interests. And yeah, that's everything that I have. Well, not everything. That's my intro. Oh, it's loud here. I wonder if I should put my headphones on. They're chopping down a tree in my neighborhood. It's really intense. I don't think I'm gonna put these on. So yeah, in terms of what will happen today, I want to talk about the transits that are happening in the sky. And then I also want to leave space at the end to entertain questions about people's personal, natal charts and how these transits might be affecting you, depending on what your chart looks like. And so, yeah, we might answer some questions or pull up some charts at the end of this. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Let me see. I want to share my screen with you. How can I do that? Shift 6. Lies. Picture-in-picture layout. Edit layout? Nope. Cancel. This is a new software for me. So I'm learning it as I'm doing it. And that's okay. This worked yesterday. It usually asks me what screen I would like to share. Be patient. News layout. Present. Share screen. And I want to look at today's current planets. Share. Well, let's see what happens. So this is the chart for today, May 1st. In terms of transits, I'm not able to see the comment section right now, just FYI, in case you're trying to leave a comment. But yeah, in terms of transits, what I'm excited about as we look at this is the fact that we are opening the month with Mercury being direct. Yay for all of us that have survived Mercury retrograde in Aries. How did it affect you? I feel like for me, it was very much the experience of being impatient as hail. I mean, to be real, impatience is a thing that I struggle with, and I very much struggled with it during the Mercury retrograde. And, I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about prioritizing myself, my needs in my relationships and connections with others. So Thank you, Mercury retrograde in Aries, for all your lessons. Let me have a sip of tea here. That's the truth. Today's tea is the usual tea, which is rooibos with honey and almond milk. Brought to you by me, the Lady Miss of Johnny Jenkins, because I made that. Anyway, okay. I'm also grateful that we are opening this month with Venus being in its home sign of Taurus, in terms of what Venus does for us, or its job, and how it's able to do that more easily when it's in its home sign. Yeah, Venus helping us to attract the things that we desire. Yes, romantic relationships, if that's something you desire, but what are some other things that you are manifesting that aren't necessarily romantic relationships and such? And how might some of those things be material resources or actual tangible things that you can experience with your five senses? And yeah, how much more easily might you be able to attract those things with Venus in its home sign? Just throwing it out there. So that's one thing that I'm grateful for. And then, yeah, we are opening the month and it's May 1st. The first transit that I want to talk about is kind of a big one, in that I think about the biggest transits coming from the outside planets and then working our way in. So this is more of a transit that affects the collective rather than like maybe our individual lives, but Pluto is retrograding. It will be in retrograde motion from now or May 2nd through October 11th. It will be transiting those last couple of degrees of Aquarius here, going through 2, back through 1, back through 0, and then like September, October-ish, it'll be hitting 29 degrees of Capricorn. And so as a collective, what we might experience is some more, instead of external experiences, more internal experiences that are calling on us to change society for the better. Particularly as it relates to like social justice and being a human in the world and making the world better for humans and not our corporate overlords. That's the kind of thing that you might be thinking about transforming your relationship to, humanity, social justice, that kind of thing. And then when it starts to get back into Capricorn, we might be thinking specifically about governmental bodies, or our relationship to authority in general, or governmental structures that manifest themselves in our lives and our relationship to them. So yeah, this is not something that you're necessarily going to feel on May 2nd, but something that will unfold gently over like the next 5 months, from May 2nd to October 11th, when it starts to go direct again. And then, yeah, it'll reverse course and head back from Capricorn into Aquarius, just in time for the November 5th election, which I was looking at the chart for that the other day, and damn, nature, you scary. So yeah, that's the thing. What's next? The next major transit that I wanted to look at is the new moon on May 7th in Taurus. So let's advance the chart and look at May 7th. We'll advance it by a week. And that takes it to May 8th. Let me go back one day. This website, by the way, is called AstroSeek, and it is my favorite website for doing transit readings like this. Ads be adding, so disregard the marketing and the constant interruption from corporations, but it is a really good free resource for looking at transits. So I'll say that. So yeah, May 7th, new moon in Taurus. We know that the moon is new when it is conjunct the sun, and we see that here, moon, sun conjunct. Let me advance it a couple hours so we can see the exact moment of conjunction. Because right now we've got the moon at 14 and the sun at 17. 16. There we go. 17 and 17. So the moon and sun in Taurus. The moon loves being in Taurus, in that the moon is about our emotional body. And the being in Taurus, it is very much the idea of creature comforts or building a world around us that satiates our emotional body. So, yes, to the moon being in a place of exaltation, the new moon, generally speaking, is the start of a 6 month cycle. We'll see the themes of this new moon unfold over the next 6 months and then come to their culmination when we have the full moon in Taurus, which is the moon opposite of the sun. And that will happen sometime during Scorpio season. So, November-ish. But yeah, in terms of what themes we might anticipate, I wonder about the experience of a new beginning in terms of our material resources or maybe experiences with beauty, however you define that in your life. I think specifically about art because I'm also an artist in addition to being an astrologer. But yeah, where do you have Taurus in your chart? And what might a new beginning in that particular area of life look like? Um, and this is the place where I am looking at comments to see if anybody's got comments. No. Okay. So yeah, what would a new beginning in the Taurus house of your chart look like? For me, I have Taurus in the 6th house of health, daily routines, being of service to others. And I am looking at a new beginning as it relates to figuring out movement or exercise practices that help me feel supported in my daily routine. I'm not looking to start like a weightless journey. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those, but I do want to figure out ways to feel better in my body. And so, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to building over the next 6 months as we're thinking about this particular new moon cycle. So yeah, look at your Taurus house and think about what you might like to bring to fruition in that particular area of your life, particularly if it's something that you can touch, smell, taste, experience with your body. That's where Taurus excels. The next major transit that I wanted to talk about, well, it's not a major transit, but I still want to talk about it. On May 13th, we've got the Sun conjunct Uranus. Let's look at it. That's the May 14th. Go back. All right. Sun conjunct Uranus right here. And that too is happening in Taurus at 23 degrees of Taurus. And so a couple things, right? What house do you have this transit in? So again, what's your Taurus house? That can tell you about the area of life this might affect you. For everybody, generally speaking, when Uranus and the sun combine their energies, that's what a conjunction is, you can experience these sort of aha moments, some shakeups, maybe some enlightenment about the ways in which you would like to do things differently. If that means rebellion, maybe, or if that means just being weird or standing in the fact that there is a traditional way to do these things, but I would like to do these things differently. And so, again, the example from my chart that I will give is that so many people think of fitness as a way to lose weight, and losing weight is supposed to be something that femme people aspire to because God forbid femme people take up space. But how would I like to do things differently in that particular sixth house area of my life. And so, what ways can I rebel against the standard or the standards of the fitness industrial complex, but still have ways that feel good about making, ways that make me feel good or better about being in my body? So I'm looking forward to that transit to get some insight about those things. And so, yeah, looking at how those energies combine, where they are combining in your chart, what house. And then the last little touch of flavor that I'll say, because astrologers look at like the house as the area of life. How you do that area of life is the sign that the house is in. So we're looking at sixth house, how I do the sixth house, Taurus. Um, and then are there any planetary teachers there? In this case, we're talking about Sun and Uranus. What are those planetary teachers doing? Like, what's their relationship with each other? Ooh, they're combining energy. So we're shedding a light on doing something different. And then that last little teeny bit is the degree part, in a 23rd degree splash of flavor. And the 23rd degree is an Aquarian degree. So again, Aquarius energy, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn, and it asks us very much, what are the existing structures, hierarchies, ways of doing things, the traditions, and how can I rebel against them? So this is the little touch of flavor that that transit is bringing to us. Yeah, do you need any help figuring out where you have Taurus in your chart, or what your sixth house looks like, or if you have any other planetary teachers here that are not just Taurus and Uranus? Comments them below. I still can't see the comments, but I'm going to keep going. So that's the May 13th transit. We're halfway through the month now. The next thing I wanted to just touch on was that May 20th begins Gemini season. So, once again, if the sun shines a light on something, then we've got the sun shining its light and its vitality on the Gemini house in our chart. What's your Gemini house? My Gemini house is the 7th house of one-on-one connections and relationships, sapiosexual vibes. But yeah, what might you envision in terms of how useful it is to have a light shined on this particular house in your chart? What house is your Gemini house? And what would it feel like to have a light shined on there? What would you do if you had a work light shining on that particular area of your life? May 20th is a start of a 4-week period where we get to think about that. And we call that Gemini season. I would expect that our communications might be highlighted, no matter what area of life you have, your Gemini house. Generally speaking, Gemini brings the idea, the energy of ideas, connection, communication, writing, data gathering and research. Those are all kinds of Gemini things. So I imagine that this might be a time where our minds are more active. And then particular to your natal chart is where you find the nuance. And if you have any planetary teachers in your Gemini house, those are going to indicate a little bit about how Gemini season might work out for you. The next transit that I want to look at is kind of piggybacking off of that. On the 23rd of May, we've got Venus entering Gemini. Let's look at that. 1, 2, 3 days. May 23rd. Venus, where are you? You're in Gemini here. So yeah, when Venus enters Gemini and gets into the fray, the question becomes, what are we attracting, and how can we use Gemini energy to attract or manifest it? So going back to what I just said, Gemini is like thinking, thought processes, writing, communication, conversations. So if there's something that you are trying to manifest, particularly if it's something in the related to the Gemini house of your chart, how could you bring that to fruition by using Gemini means? Could you potentially write a petition? Could you have a conversation with a trusted friend about the thing that you're trying to manifest, and perhaps they spread the word and use their networks to connect you with the thing that you're trying to manifest? Yeah, these are some sort of Gemini, Venus and Gemini ideas that are coming to mind. And this is just for the collective. This, it really depends on like what your particular chart looks like to see if like Venus is touching any of your planetary placements or making an aspect to other planetary placements. But yeah, this is just an overview. And that is May 23rd. And the last little transit that I want to talk about is, again, piggybacking on this same Gemini idea, Jupiter in Gemini. Let me look at the 25th for you. So May 25th, Gemini, or Jupiter right here, enters the sign of Gemini. And, depending on your chart, if you have a day chart or a night chart, you might find, more or better fortune when Jupiter enters Gemini versus Venus being in Gemini. How do you know if you have a day chart? How do you know if you have a night chart? Look at your chart circle. Find this horizontal line in the middle here. It divides north from south, but also it starts with your rising sign, the ascendant, and it ends with your descendant, your DC or AC axis. And yeah, if you find that your sun is above that line, then that is a day chart. If you find that your sun sign is below that line, then that is a night chart. For a night chart, you'll find that Venus is more of a benefic or beneficial planet, whereas for a day chart, Jupiter is more of a beneficial planet. So, your mileage may vary, I guess is the lesson of that. And so looking at either the 23rd when Venus goes into Gemini or the 25th when Jupiter goes into Gemini, and sort of figuring out how you might like to manifest the desires of your heart around either one of those time periods might be useful. Also, make a note if you have any other planetary teachers in Gemini or making aspects to Gemini. That's going to be something important to note as you're going through this as well. That is everything that I have on major transits. I'm going to do something that I was told not to do, and I'm going to go to YouTube for a second to see if I have missed any comments. Just a second. I can't find it. Maybe because it's already running. Let me check. Nope. All right. Well, I probably didn't need to look at that anyway. Okay, y'all. That is all I have. Major transits. If you have some other transits that you want to talk about that I didn't, think were particularly important or I didn't put on my transit list, let's talk about them in the comments below. Also, reminder that if you like this video, check out that button on the far right. That is the super thanks button. Oh wait, give me a second to get out of here. Stop sharing, please. Okay, yeah. If you like this video, check out that button that's on the far right. Is that the far right? The thanks button. If you want to tip on this video, And if you want to get access to special perks by becoming a member of my channel, check out that join button. My members are called the Cosmic Cuties, and starting at like $3.99 a month, there's all these ways that you can like join the channel and get special perks, like stickers and special emojis, behind the scenes access or early access to videos. And yeah, it's a great way to support this channel and my ability to do this work and just to support my Black queer autistic life. That is everything that I have in terms of transits. And I thank you for stopping by. Whenever you see this video, thank you so much for watching. And as always, thank you for making time for queer astrology. I'll see you next time. Bye.